Peace be with you, Upendo family. I really want to thank God for the opportunity He has given me to reach you through this channel. Our goal is to inspire you to inspire, because the Lord is inspiring us to inspire you. Praise be the name of the Lord. Yesterday I talked about 3 principles which are necessary for formation, which are necessary for spiritual formation, which are necessary for education. And whatever kind of education, for it to take effect and transform human life, it must respect these 3 principles, that each one of us has a story, as a unique story for that matter, and each one of us lives this story in relation with others and with the other who transcends human beings. And we said that every formation, every education must respect the principle of graduality. Today, I'm here to focus on the story. Your story, my story. And because it is important to be inspired, to inspire, the highest inspiration that we can get is from the revealed Word of God. And today, I'm going to begin with a passage from the Bible. I would like to cite Deuteronomy chapter 26, verse 1 to 19, but our focus being Deuteronomy chapter 26, verse 5 to 8. And this is episodic. This is a formula given to Israelites on what to do when they get to the promised land. You know, before you talk of your story, and before I talk of my story, there is a story of Israelites. And I want you to take that story as a story of a person. Because Israel, while it was a nation, it was also a person. So, this, I see it as a story which is a model of all stories. And it's a story that will inspire us, and let us allow ourselves to be inspired by this story. First of all, it is indication on what the people of Israel were to do when they get to the promised land. In the very first verse, we are told, "When you have come into the land which the Lord your God is giving you as heritage, and have taken possession and settled in it, you shall take some first fruits of the various products of the soil which you harvest from the land the Lord your God is giving you, put them in a basket, and go to the place which the Lord your God will choose as a dwelling place for His name. There you shall go to the priest in office at that time and say to him, Today I acknowledge to the Lord my God that I have indeed come into the land which the Lord swore to our ancestors to give us." The priest shall take the basket from your hands, and set it in front of the altar of the Lord your God. When you shall declare in the presence of the Lord your God, "My father was a refugee, Aramean, who went down to Egypt with a small household and lived there as a resident alien. But there he became a nation great, strong, and numerous. When the Egyptians maltreated and oppressed us, imposing harsh servitude upon us, we cried to the Lord, the God of our ancestors, and the Lord heard our cry and saw our affliction, our toil, and our oppression. That the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a strong hand and outstretched arm, and with terrifying power, with His signs and wonders, and brought us to this place, and gave us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey, Now therefore, I have brought the first fruits of the products of the soil which you, Lord, have given me. You shall set them before the Lord your God, and you shall bow down before the Lord your God. Then you and your household, together with the Levite and the resident aliens who live among you, shall celebrate with all these good things which the Lord your God. I have taken verse 1 to 12, but our main focus is verse 5 to 9, which says, Then you shall declare in the presence of the Lord your God, my father was a refugee Aramean who went down to Egypt with a small household and lived there as a resident alien. But there he became a nation, great, strong, and numerous. In other words, this passage is very important because it's a summary of the story of the Israelites. It's a summary of the whole episode of Exodus. That the people of Israel, when they get to the promised land, the first fruit of their lives, the first fruit of their living in that land was to be taken to the priest purposely as a sacrifice of remembrance to preserve their story. This story was to be passed on, and the best place of passing this story on was the altar of the Lord. So for years, from the journey they made to the Canaan, all those years until Jesus Christ was born, this remembrance helped each son and daughter of Israel to have this story, to know it, how they survived in Egypt, how they got there, how they were delivered from there, and what was their destiny. This is the story of Israelites. Why am I beginning telling you this story of the Israelites? It's because today I want to focus on the importance of sharing our story. I agree with Dominic Colenso when he says that we do not read the CVs of the people we admire, but their biographies. Is this not the case? Personally, when I admire somebody, I want to know his story. What did he go? What was his experience, which accumulated to reach the success he enjoys? In other words, what we ask by asking for the story of a person, we want to know what the person has been through, what the person is doing, and what is destiny of this person. In other words, your story is important than your achievements. Brothers and sisters, you will agree with me that in our relationships, there are stories which bind us together. Be it our relationships in the families or in our place of work. When we ask for each other's story, it's because we want to know them and relate with them better. And actually, the same case applies. When people are telling you their story, it's because they want a better relationship with you. They want to be connected with you. When we tell people to tell us their stories, we expect that they will communicate to us their experience, that which has made them what they are today. We want to know how they have grown, and we want to know also at this moment what they are working on and where they are headed. What is their experience that has made them the people we admire today? We want to know how they have grown to have this experience. We want to know what they are working on and where they are going. What is their destiny? What are their future plans? But the core, or what pushes us to this, is because we want to connect with them. Nevertheless, your story may not be so beautiful, and you may not want to talk about it. Actually, you may not be accepting your story. That being the case, when your story is ugly according to you, or according to your feeling, when you become economically successful, or whatever success that you have that makes you prominent in the society, and people ask you your story, you might not want to tell it as it is, because it looks ugly, and you know that people like good stories. So you may start faking your story so that you can tell people what you think you are comfortable with. We have met so many people who don't want to share the story as it is. I've listened to so many interviews of particular people who are prominent in our society, and they say different things at different places. In their interview with the X, they give a story which is not which some things will not be in conformity with their interview with the Y, and with somebody else, the story will be different. So people keep on changing these stories, and sometimes these stories are stage managed. People think on what they think will be appealing, and they end up faking their story. They end up putting on masks. We are living in the world where makeups are part and parcel of some people. I've heard several ladies saying that the thing they cannot leave when they are going out is their makeup. I come from Kenya, and I know in Nairobi people fear rain more than vehicles. Sometimes, actually, it's not ugly skin, but it's a perception they have in their minds, or the perception that people give in the society. So, if your story looks ugly, how can you tell that story?